We hauled a deer up that hill.
on the 110 Kawasaki, baby. And I'm telling you
we were
what,
probably 100 pounds lighter
once
back
in
then.
a while we'd have to get off and give her a little help and walk. But
So if you do put this on YouTube, Kawasaki may give you some money for it.
yeah. It had no suspension. You know, it was like solid forks in the front.
But wasn't that back when none of us needed suspension of any kind?
We just needed to get up the hill.
Yeah,
It was a three-wheeler. That seemed like the most dangerous thing a man could have.
I think back on some of the drags that we pulled out back in the early 2000s, and him and I dragging out a buck and a doe at the same time from, where that fence cuts in.
Yeah, the corner of it.
Oh yeah, that ain't that far, Jimmy. Come on.
It seemed like
Seemed
a long
like
time.
it does. But you know,
Why just dragging two deer? It seems like a
Hey,
long
I'll
way.
tell you what, it would be really far today.
you were.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, you were dragging on level ground.
Pretty
That
much.
makes a difference.
You weren't coming up the hill or down the hill. It was level that
And
way.
see,
Then
when
cross
you
that
was
creek
dragging
a
that
couple
buck.
times.
Yeah, and when
I
John
had
was
it
praying
easy.
today that he would kill that deer and find it, I was praying, God, don't let us find this deer.
Well, obviously he's a little close
It's
to
a
the
long
Lord.
way from home.
Man, it is a quarter mile straight
Yeah, I've been
uphill.
there.
Woo, Lord.
And
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
creeks
Well-
and 2 or 3 creeks and
Well, the first weekend, the first hunt that I was down here, it was the same one that Curtis killed that 17 pointer. On Sunday morning, we did a little drive, one of the illegal drives, and we drove that area you guys are hunting over there. I mean, drove it. We put guys way up by,
Yeah, it's
like up by the
trail.
sister.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and
I
we
remember
drove.
that. And then went up that hill.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We
It's
killed
a-
deer or not?
Oh yeah, yeah. Curtis killed a deer.
It's full of deer up in there.
I mean,
Nice
we
thicket.
pushed a little. I mean, it was a little basket
If
ride.
you could ride a four-wheeler, you could get back there. There's probably great spots, but it's just so far back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a
I can remember.
60-year-old man to walk, it's a long way.
Yeah, I can remember. I mean, that's how I got back there and killed my first deer. Was Roy took me back there on a 4-wheeler, and I found a spot. Man, I was all kind of signed. I mean, I hunted that weekend, and I killed 2 deer in that same tree that weekend.
Wow. Tell a story. Some guy comes rolling through the woods in a Cadillac or something. Some big old car picked you up and gave you a ride.
Well, that was the first year we come down here. We just drove in here blind.
Who's we?
Me and Bob Meyer and his Romaine and his dad. A name like Romaine, you don't want to leave that out. But how many Romaines you know?
None.
What kind of? Where's he from?
Minnesota.
Romania.
So we got here. We were driving around, wondering where we're going to camp.
Yeah.
And a gentleman stopped and said, "Wait, we're looking for a place to deer hunt." Yeah, oh yeah, all over in here is deer hunting. He said, "Get in my car and I'll show you some places we could go." And
That's
I was
awesome.
just a little tyke.
Wow.
I rode in the back of this old, it was a blue Eldorado Cadillac. I mean, this thing was 6.5 feet wide and 30 foot long.
Yeah.
Cadillac. And I'll never forget, like the dash was covered with magazines and letters, like he just throw it up on the dash.
Like you lived
Like
there.
you
Yeah,
He
was
lived
yeah.
in it, yeah.
This was, and then we went down here to Barger Cemetery. We went up that road
In the Cadillac.
in a Cadillac.
Cadillac.
And he was kind of spinning once in a while. Got up in there. You guys can run up in here, and he turned the caddy around, down all the way, like a mile and a half down
That's
that road
awesome.
in the mud. And then we went down a little further. You guys could hunt here, and he showed us. I don't know who he was. Nice guy.
Wow.
Said, "All this is government ground. You can hunt right through."
What
And
here."
you could drive a caddy.
He
anywhere
was
you
like the
want.
Cool
Polk
thing.
County emissary. Yeah.
Yeah, what a cool thing.
He took us over to an
Was he
old house
emissary? Is that what he was?
in Basalt. No. Don't ask me how to spell it.
That's what I was gonna ask.
But he took us over. There was an old house there where apparently Dr. Barger lived. This
Oh.
is just a true story now.
As
And
opposed to all the rest.
they brought him out. I sound like that Bill.
What is he the one that caused all the people to go to the cemetery?
No, but they brought.
He owned the cemetery.
They went in
How
one
bad
winter.
is
Selling plots.
Yeah.
They went in one winter in the early 70s and had to get him because he was living in this house with like a pack of dogs, and he was eating dog food too. And
Dr. Barger.
he like become a recluse.
Yeah.
And when he was long gone, but we went over to the house, and it was all dilapidated. And we went in the house, and literally there was a fireplace, but he was building the fire 3 feet out from the fireplace because he never cleaned the ashes up.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, it was like out on the mantle.
On the wood floor.
Yeah, in the front, and the house was,
I gotta get a
and
jacket.
the house was full of dog food cans.
Wow.
And they said they had to kill dogs because if he had not fed the dogs, they probably would have ate him.
Wow.
Yep. They found the old man in there. He was alive, and he was, I mean, probably didn't have running water in the place.
How the
and
heck did he get the dog food?
I guess he went to Galcana and got
Man.
dog. But I mean, I never saw so many dog food cans. That's a true story.
Wow.
And that, you
Where
know,
was that
if
house?
that was the front of down there by the crease, down there by Pope Dog's place.
Okay.
On that corner was an old farmstead, big old white house.
Huh.
Oh, it was all falling apart, like a wood-sided white house.
All right. Huh.
And we just rooted around there looking, and I thought, wow, dude, you need to clean the ashes up. They were 3 feet out in front of the fire.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That is crazy.
But somebody had said, oh, they found him in here one winter. They had to take him out and take him to the nursing home. He was about dead, and the dogs were going to eat him.
You know,
Man, that's
Pet
crazy.
dogs.
Yeah, that's
if
crazy.
I was gonna go to nursing home, just let me die out here
With the dogs.
with the dogs.
I always said I'd like to just, if I had some land or something, I'd just go sit. If it was getting closer and I was feeling not good, I'd just go sit under a tree and watch the sights and just let me die right
How do you
there.
know when that
Like
is?
Howard Davis did.
Is that what he did?
What? Come on,
Howard Davis.
tell me that story.
Remember Howard Davis?
Yeah.
Howard and Lucille.
Lucille.
Howard, you remember that Irish setter they had out there? at the
Yeah.
pond?
Oh yeah.
And that Irish setter died, and a week later, Howard died.
Really? I
They
knew Howard
they
real
called
well.
Dad and Jack, and they went out there, and a coroner still hadn't come out there, and Howard was sitting under a tree. Just sitting
Man,
under a
that's
tree,
the way to
up
go.
against a tree, and that's
I
where he
hope I
died.
go that
So
way.
you
That's
never
what
spent a
that
day in
would
a
be my
nursing
dream.
home
Yep.
or laid up in the hospital with tubes
And
and
he
pipes.
loved
and-
that piece of property, and
Yep.
that's where he went.
I still have a very, very fond memory.
Don't go there.
No, I gotta tell
With
the
the
story.
shed?
Was you
No.
there?
No, but I heard about
Oh,
it.
man,
Jeff,
that was
you
a
don't
bad
spill
day.
all that.
I do not know this
Well,
story.
it has nothing to do
Please
with deer hunting.
continue.
Well, we were, Mark and I were. I mean, I was fishing all the time, and Mark and I were fishing together. And he told me, hey, there's this guy out in Freeburg. He goes to our church. He has this nice little farm pond. Let's go out there and go fishing. I'm like, I'm in. So we go out there, and he's got this little flat bottom boat. And the first thing we do is turn it over, and there's a couple snakes underneath.
We've
You know?
done it.
Jimmy
Yeah.
and I have been in that boat a million times.
Well, no. I'm sorry, I told that wrong.
Okay.
We fished all afternoon and got out of the boat and turned it over, and a snake came out.
Oh.
That snake was in the boat with us the whole afternoon.
Hey, well.
Yeah. So,
Yuck.
but let me back
That
up.
we haven't
Yeah,
done.
let me back up just a little bit. So, we were fishing, and Mark caught this monster bass. I mean, it was
It's
just
probably the same years that we were fishing out there. They
Probably.
were too.
Yeah,
It
probably.
was just this monster bass. I mean, this thing you could have put both fists in its mouth.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I
And
put.
there were some
There were
whoppers
big
in
ones.
Oh
there.
yeah. Well, I had this stringer. It's one of those metal stringers with
Oh, yeah,
clips
I
on
remember
it.
the
Look like
clip, yep.
like little, almost look like carabiners.
That's my favorite kind.
Well,
Diaper
that's,
pins.
that's what I like. But let me just tell you, they don't hold 8-pound bass. So I put Mark's fish on
I
there.
do remember this now. You lost that fish.
I did.
Oh.
Mark
You
handed
lose
me
him,
that
you
bass.
released
I
him.
put it on that stringer and I held it out. I was
He
gonna
wiggle
sit it
wobbled
down in
2
the
or
water.
3 times.
That fish flopped
It's
and
gone.
just popped that
Oh.
clip right open.
Oh,
Wow.
And that fish goes in the water. And Mark's like,
That's probably the biggest bass I ever caught in my life. I
That's-
remember
It
that.
was-
that would
it
be
was
the
the biggest
for
bass.
almost anybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
he was like,
incredible. exactly.
where's my fish?
That's a
Just
long way to
happened.
get to this story we're going to.
Where are we going? I thought that was the story.
No,
Oh, I thought you were
you
going
sitting
with
on
the
that
tree
tree
cutting.
cutting. Maybe you weren't there that
No,
day.
I
We
wasn't
went out there with the preacher.
Yeah, you guys.
And Howard had a
you
big
guys,
old-
you guys dropped the limb
He
on the
had a
barn.
big old elm tree he wanted to cut. Do you know this story? He had an elm tree that was that big around, wasn't it, John?
Yeah.
That he wanted to cut down. And Howard was probably 75 then.
Oh yeah.
So he had a rope that was his dad's. Does
Oh
that
my
give you any
goodness.
idea?
Oh my goodness.
And so I don't know who put the rope
Like
on
when you
the,
snap it, it just turned to
it was,
powder.
it was an old hay rope that you pulled hay up in the barn with. I don't know who went up in the tree. The preacher was there. I had the chainsaw, and Howard was on the tractor. We had the rope on the tree right by the shed. Now I'm cutting. I mean, I had an 18-inch saw on a 40-inch tree. You know, I had to go all the way around this baby.
And you said he hooked the rope
Wait.
up to the tractor?
Yeah, rope was up in the
Oh, I
tree,
remember the old
going
tractor,
down
too.
to the tractor. Howard's on the tractor. I'm cutting. The preacher's praying.
Which
And,
preacher?
Jack Fritz.
Fritz, yeah.
He's dead. I'm cutting, and I'm telling Howard, give it a little bit. Give it a little bit. Howard went full bore. He pulls, the rope breaks. Instead of the tree going away from the shed, it went
bounced
into the
back.
shed, smashed the shed down. There was limbs this big through the roof of the shed right into a car.
Oh
Ford LTD, black and white.
Oh my
Boom,
god!
right through the hood of the car.
I remember that car.
Smashed it all up.
I
And
remember the
I mean, I
shed.
felt about this big. The rope broke.
I
Is
was
what
gonna say, it wasn't
happened.
your fault.
Well, and Howard gets off. He's excited. He backs the tractor up or something, hits my truck, busts the headlights out of my truck.
That'll teach you to crush
And,
my
well,
shit.
wait. He wants to write me a check for my headlights, and he's got $10,000 worth of damage to his shed.
That would be what he would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I mean, it drove a hole this big right through the roof of the shed. That was expensive firewood.
Wow.
You know, and Lucille was a beast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was out there gonna fish one time, and she had her riding lawnmower out there mowing, and it was stuck. She had sunk it too close to the lake, and so I saw her over there, and I started trucking over there to help her, and I could barely get there in time. She had picked up the back of that mower and moved it out of the hole, and I was like,
She was
I
a
guess
member,
I guess you didn't need me.
and this needs to be on YouTube. She was a member of the Daughters of the Revolutionary
Yep,
War.
she came to our high school.
Yeah,
with them.
we're talking. This was
Did it.
old school.
But
Eastern Star, whatever.
Did you ever get to go in their house?
Oh yeah.
Ever?
Oh yeah.
It was like
a path.
stepping back.
It's a
back
museum,
in
wasn't it?
time.
They had a museum too.
They put a museum after a while, but it was like stepping back in time. There was like stacks of National Geographics
Yes,
from 100
yes.
years, and
She graduated from University of Illinois.
incredible.
Him and her. They were educated people, but they lived somewhat primitive.
they had one son.
Yep.
And
He lived in New York.
oh, he does.
Oh my goodness.
They didn't have a daughter?
I don't think
Just
so.
a son.
Just a son
Just
up
the
in
one
New
son.
York, upstate New York.
Must be his
Something's
wife
going
that
on
done
funny
that.
over there now because they ain't got the crops off.
What? They had the crops off?
No. When I left home
Insurance claim?
last week, no, I just don't know if there's a question with the farmer that's farming their ground. The crops are still on there. Everything's gone, but right there.
I think part of her will or their stuff was like,
To stay the
This-
way it was.
this ground can never be
Developed.
sold
Yep.
and developed.
Yeah.
It's probably
to
in a
anybody.
trust.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
got to stay in the family and be farmed.
And her son, 20 years ago, was not a young man.
No.
He was in his 60s then. He's probably dead. It's probably in a
It's his-
trust.
it was his wife that I remember talking to about
The
hunting
son's
out
wife?
there. Yeah. Talked
I
to
met
her about
him
hunting
once.
out there. No, never did it.
You know, I think I hunted out there one time.
I
Hosanna-
remember asking Howard when we were going to
John
build
Hosanna
when we
Arcola
were going to
hunted out
build
there.
a new church, and Westview was going to put a new church in. I said, "Well, Howard, where are you going to go?" He said, "Well, I'm going to probably go where the pretty women are." That's what he said. I said, well, that's a pretty good way of looking at it. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I'm going to go where the pretty women are.
And that museum that they built out there, she had land documents in there.
Oh,
signed
they did
signed by
slideshows.
Thomas
Remember
Jefferson and John Adams, and
Yeah.
I mean, documents that were. They did
Oh,
founding
their trip
father
to the
stuff.
Holy Land, and they had all kind of slideshows, and
Yeah.
I mean, it'd put you to sleep there, museum. Yeah,
I'd have loved that.
Oh,
it was good.
Back then I didn't appreciate it, but now I look.
I
at
would have been,
something,
and they had a
gosh.
huge arrowhead collection.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Axes and arrowheads and
Man.
all kind of stones and
Well, and she, if you remember, she always dressed in Native American jewelry.
yes.
You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
had the turquoise
the
everything
turquoise.
and the.
Toward the end,
The
we
beaded
had gone
stuff.
out there to get some corn stalks for decorations, and I don't know how to put it nicely, but she smelled.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She wasn't
I
quite,
remember
her
that.
hygiene
she
wasn't
needed
up
to
to par.
shower a little more often. She rode in the truck with us to get some corn stalks, and I about puked.
it
Yeah.
was bad.
Yeah,
I have
she
smelled
she
that
had
from
she
her,
had
too.
urinated on herself or whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and didn't know or whatever. But it was, yeah, that was backwoods. Talk about redneck.
Backwoods.
Yeah,
Ooh, I remember.
she might
that
have chewed
smell.
tobacco. I don't know.
No,
You know, I
it
think
was
she
a-
did.
It was a.
Well, we used to have an old lady.
It was another region smell.
Yeah, whatever.
We used to have a lady at our church, and her name was Ruth Davis.
Could have been related.
And her husband was one of the most wealthy men in our
At Westview?
No, back in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
And she'd come to church with a big old wad of yellow snuff
Nice.
in her cheek.
Yellow snuff.
Well, yeah, the old powder. You know
I didn't know yellow snuff.
what is that?
Sounds delicious.
Well, it was like it literally was like a powder. You put this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Snuff.
remember snuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't
real-
chewing tobacco.
It was
snuff.
not smokeless
It
tobacco.
was snuff.
It was-
Wasn't day's work or
No,
plug
it's
or
what
red
people
man
would
or
do
big
this and
snuff.
go-
No, it was the same
They
stuff
would-
that my great grandmother
They
used
take
to
a
chew.
hit up the nose. with it.
Aline Brimer, she would sit in her chair,
Aline.
Aline
No,
Brimer,
you don't get a name like that. Just
and she had a Noxzema jar.
Noxzema. You
A
ain't seen that in a while
It was
either.
a blue jar, and she had a lid on it, and it sat right beside her chair all the time.
You're gonna
and-
do some editing.
And she did not talk very much, and occasionally
Aline.
she'd reach down and get that book. She'd screw that top off, and it looked like her whole guts came out.
Crack
she-
cocaine.
When she would spit in that thing, it was like she had all this in her mouth, and she could talk, and she never slurred a word, but she'd spit out a
Wow.
big old chunk
Ooh,
of, well, and it was that powder stuff
in the Noxzema.
in a Noxzema jar, and she'd sit there.
Well, I've seen people get in a thing and like in movies and stuff and get a pinch of snuff and
Yeah.
Oh, up the nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, here she almost had like a Baskin Robbins spoon. You remember those little pink spoons?
And then people have problem with cannabis
And she'd take that little spoon
and lay it in
and
there.
she had to have a crater in there.
That's
Wow.
that's a
And
powerful
she-
addiction.
and she'd put 3 or
Wow.
4 spoonfuls of that,
Snuff.
and you never even knew she had it in her mouth.
Wow.
Wow.
And
So do you spit with that stuff?
oh yeah,
Do you?
oh yeah, and it was like a
It's
black.
like a real
like a black
fine,
tar that came out of
real
her
fine
mouth.
Tobacco.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
turns my stomach.
It was powder.
sick
I mean,
with
it,
that.
it's like
Powdered
like
baccy.
flour.
Like
I mean,
dust.
it's like dust, flour.
Well, you
Wow.
can snort it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
would snort it up their nose. Yeah,
Hence the word snuff.
Snuff.
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I've seen that
Is your
in
battery dead?
old movies a million times. The
I'm sure
snuff.
hoping it was.
Get a little. They
How's the
open a
light
little
on that
can.
gonna look? I'd like to look good in the light.
Well, I was thinking that the dark light may make us look thinner.
Can we watch a little bit of it, maybe?
Maybe. Anybody got any good stories? Because we.
Yeah, we're doing camp stories.
Yeah,
Any
camp
stories?
stories. Yeah. Anything you remember?
Carl Senior burning his eyebrows off.
Here's one thing, and it's serious, is I don't know anybody that came down here since I've been coming down here that he brought that hasn't gotten a deer.
So let's think
Hosanna.
about who.
Hosanna got one. Wasn't he standing on a tree
Terry
with
Gill got one. I know. Did
Terry Gill let one go for Hosanna. He didn't get it.
what's his
Oh,
name?
okay.
Did Larry ever get one?
Larry Newell?
I mean, Larry drank a lot of coffee and smoked a lot of cigarettes.
I think Larry was the only underachiever.
Larry
Larry-
found everybody's stain.
Larry enjoyed hiking more than hunting.
Yeah, and drinking coffee.
And coffee and cigarettes.
It was so funny, Larry.
So that story.
I went down there by that
Nice
big
guy.
tree, you know, and took a right by that rock that had some green
You know
moss
that big
on
old
it.
gnarly tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped to drink and smoked a cigarette there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved down to those 3 rocks with the fur on them,
Mm-hmm.
over to that fence post with the barbed wire around
Right,
it.
right.
I had a cigarette there. And then I heard a deer coming through. They were notorious for hearing deer.
Oh yeah.
Oh
All the time.
Yeah.
We didn't see any, but we heard some, and we took a couple sound shots. Something like that.
Sound shots.
They
Oh
were
my
scary.
gosh,
Them boys
that
were
is
scary.
Well, I remember walking back from
That's why we
hunting
let
over
them
there.
have that.
Yeah.
Steve and I went over and hunted on the other side of the pond, and we got done and walked back around, and he said, just hang on a second. He cut in there where you put your stand in that tree, and comes back, and I'm like, what'd you do? He goes, he had this raccoon pee scent thing. He
Cover
said,
scent.
I just covered Mark's stand in it. And I was like, boys stand? His climber? He said, yeah, I just sprayed it everywhere. I was like, okay.
So-
Newell?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let me tell you, it's a Steve Newell story. Steve Newell story.
Snoodling. What?
Snoodle.
Over there,
Call it
not
Snoodles.
1500, but the next cut down the
by
road
the
there.
little duck ponds.
Yeah, he was hunting. I was hunting pretty close with him, and we were set up maybe 50, 100 yards apart or whatever. And a deer come in. I guess I didn't see it.
I know what you gonna say.
I think I know this.
Apparently, Steve had drawn back on this deer, is what he said. He was full draw, and the deer got on the other side of the tree. Rather than let down, he thought he'd just hold the draw and bring the bow up and around the tree. When he got about at a 90, I guess he got a little itchy. He launched that arrow, and I thought, I heard an arrow going through the pines. Up through the pine trees.
Down
like-
where I was.
Going straight up in the air. And I was thinking, what in the world is he shooting at? Yeah. You remember that story?
Oh yeah.
And
You know what?
he said when he came around that tree, his finger got itchy or something.
But didn't he get
and
pissed
bang, he
off
let her go.
and
Oh
throw
my
his release to the
gosh.
ground and start lowering his bow down?
And the deer come running back in.
And he's like, he had already threw his release to the ground from up there, and the deer came back, and he started hoisting the bow back
Where's the
up,
dumb deer at?
and he tried to draw with fingers, and
Oh, you
Yeah.
forget it. Yeah, forget it.
Yeah,
Well, I kind of had a relapse of that
we don't want that.
event this weekend.
You know, this whiskey needed ice, but it's all right now without ice. It's gotten better. We're all you got. We're
So-
all you got.
I was down at the pond with Craig Ackerman.
I
Okay.
love Craig.
Ratchet jaw.
I,
Anyway,
the guy would do anything for you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
good to know.
He's a good soul.
Otherwise, you'd kill him. So was Barnabas.
So was Barnabas.
So
As Paul said.
I'm down at the lake with him.
It's a good thing I love him, right?
You know, I'm down at the
Can I see your
beaver
girlfriend's
pond.
nipples? Oh, no.
We're on camera. Oh, don't.
Anyway,
None of these
anyway.
guys have girlfriends.
No. Anyway,
Even Ash.
I was
Legal.
he says, you know, I'm bringing my crossbow up, you know, and it needs to be decocked. But I'm like, I'll decock it tomorrow. Craig's like, well, I got to decock this thing. I'm like, down here, the pond. And, you know,
You'll never find that thing.
well, he puts one of them decocking arrows in there and points it straight
No.
up. Boom! I'm like, oh shit!
No way.
what comes up must come down.
And I'm like, I was waiting. Like, maybe I can hear it hit the water. No.
No.
Like, I don't know. It's probably on top of somebody's bar.
No kidding.
Or somebody.
I figured you were going to tell me you shot it in the mud and you just disappeared.
Oh, yeah, well, I've done that.
I've done that
I've
too.
done that.
It's in the
But-
case right there.
No, we have no idea where
right
that,
over there.
decocking.
No, I
arrow
didn't decock it.
You know what I've done?
It is
On the
heavy.
stands
I
that I've
saw
got
it.
up at home on
And I
the
could put
lease
it on
ground
the
that I
back,
hunt. I
but
bought
had
enough of those to put
fanny-
one at every
my
stand.
know,
backpack
it's
and
awesome.
so I had to
And
And
carry
I
it,
don't
I'm
take
like,
them out with me. I just
$300.
get down, decock it, and leave the arrow.
Yeah.
Think
I
about
give you
it.
one.
And it worked good.
You're short.
280 new, and I got arrows.
Oh, you're trying to jack me up. to
No, it's
300.
280 new, but
It's soiled now.
you got broadheads with that
It's
and
tan.
arrows and a decocker.
It's.
I mean, you
tan.
got a decock and arrow in there.
I got your decock swinging.
Well, I don't know about a
video has
decock.
taken-
I never heard of decock.
The video is taking
I got
turns for the
decock.
horse.
Well, I would.
Oh, be
Oh,
careful.
I would like a crossbow, but
A sniper.
Well, I tell you what, your
370.
first priority is to get you a scope.
that's happening.
Yeah.
Let's just do that first.
That is happening on the way home tomorrow.
Okay. You stop that.
You could, with a scope, you could probably make a pack of slugs last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, you get you a scope at Walmart, brother.
I'm thinking I'll stop at Hicks on the way home.
Well,
I don't know why I'd go to Hicks.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Where's
Well, they're
Hicks?
four-sided for me.
where's Hicks?
In Pinckneyville.
Oh, that. Yeah.
I wouldn't go there.
No,
No.
that's where you had me go to get the scope for my
Well, that
muzzle
Did you?
loader and yours
Well, we bought
too.
the muzzle loaders there.
That's true.
foresighting is important because slugs are so hard to find right
Well,
now.
I don't know that you. Do you have any more at home?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So he's slugless.
I got nothing.
So he's laser sight or nothing.
Yeah.
Just use your muzzle loader. You got
Well,
a really nice.
If you
muzzle
buy
loader.
it from them, ask them if make sure they sell you some slugs too, because they may have some behind the counter.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Sell you slugs if you pay for a
Yeah.
foresighting.
Because you can't. I mean, they're just not.
You just
You
can't,
can't find
them.
them.
Huh?
No.
Well,
Can
they're
you
all
order
over
them
the internet.
online?
No.
What?
Can you order slugs online?
No.
No.
Because I can order.
No.
I can order other ammo.
I know. I don't know why you can't find slugs.
Because they don't want us to kill the deer.
I guess that's why I was shooting light fields. And they.
I like my light.
I
I love light fields, 12 gauge.
Well, you
Except
guys
the
need to get on
balloons?
something
Yeah.
mainstream.
Oh, I bought a pack of the black ones, and after shoulder surgery, I decided I'd go
Three and
blow.
a half. They make a 3.5 inch rhino load.
But I told John
Elephant and rhino.
every deer that I've shot a black one at is dropped right where I hit it.
I don't shoot them. They make a 3.5 inch load.
I know I have.
It's
that's
like
what he's
like
talking
when you,
about. I've got-
when you
well,
shoot it, it's like a 4x4 right in the
I
shoulder.
bought a pack, and I've got 2 left because I was like, I can't.
I've got some in
hurts.
there
It
for
hurts.
women and children. They're light field lights.
Hmm.
They're orange. You have to shoot
Do
them.
you know
I need the Winchester Super X.
where I started
What?
buying?
What my gun is sighted for?
Sounds like a monkey howling. Some kind.
No, this is squash.
We were at
Here, I'll go. I'll
we were
retreat now.
at Perry County 3rd season, and I ran out of slugs, and we ran into Pinckneyville to the little sporting goods store there, and I bought light fields because that's all I had.
I
And
love
that's-
light fields.
And that's all I've ever shot
Yeah.
since.
I need to switch.
Y'all
over
need to
some.
get something mainstream.
I do. I need to find some other SSTs.
But there ain't nothing mainstream right now.
Well, I think
I'm
they're
fine
saying
with
some
light
Remingtons
fields,
out
but
there. and
My
Winchesters.
gun's not sighted for
Where?
those.
I see them on Facebook all the time.
No way.
20
What?
bucks.
Facebook Marketplace for $20 a box.
Poor people got poor weed.
Well, I mean, I got some myself for.
You got any Winchester Super X Sabbats?
I do.
20?
Yeah.
I'll buy them.
He just needs 2 boxes to get him 10 years.
$150.
Once I get scoped, I'll buy them off of you.
Yeah.
You can find rifled slugs all over the place.
I've got maybe a
$4
case.
a box.
Brennicke's.
A case?
Yeah.
Back in the day, we shot a Brennickey.
I told you I
or
bought a
we shot
lifetime supply of 12 and
Whoa.
20
almost
gauge.
like a round
I just
ball,
buy a
like a
couple
pumpkin
boxes.
ball.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You know, they,
What is a box worth?
They're about
$15.
$15, $20 in hard
Not
times.
if you can't find them.
They're worth
I
$20.
mean, they're $13 new, normally.
Yeah, 20 bucks.
What's that come out to be? At $15 a box, and you got 5 shells. $3 a
$5
shell.
Yeah, $3
3
a shell.
times. Yeah, that ain't bad.
So $30 gets me 2 boxes.
Whatever. If you need shells, I got you covered.
But
Well,
they're
yeah.
not here today.
They're not here today.
No, but I tell you what I'll do.
What?
I gotta pay some money for some food, and I'll give you the $30 on top of it in advance so that I get the shells.
Come on over.
I'll be there. I'm gonna go bow hunting Wednesday.
We could take this conversation inside, couldn't we? I'm a little chilly.
I'm feeling good.
I know, but I've got a nice warm camper.
We need to eat dinner.
Camper.
We
I got a
need-
nice
we
warm
need to eat
camper.
dinner.
Comper. He's a German. The
We need to
Comper.
eat dinner.
Well, I'll be inside. Let me know when it's ready.
We go to.
We're going to the.
We ain't going nowhere, son.
Why
No?
not?
Well, Jimmy
drive
can
us up
drive.
there.
My truck is full of shite.
Well, he could drive your vehicle.
You can drive mine.
Yeah, I can
Well,
drive
no,
it.
my truck is full of shite too.
My truck's out of gas.
My car is totally empty. There ain't nothing in it but a
We
bed.
gotta go to Gal.
The 3 of you guys can lay in the back, and
My
I'll
truck is
drive.
on- My truck is on an eighth of a tank. If that makes any sense.
That doesn't make no sense to me.
I know, and I gotta be real careful getting out of here and get to Galconda probably.
No, you ain't going to Galcana. You going to Harrisburg.
I will make it.
You won't.
We're going to Galconda over to Vienna,
Eating breakfast and then
and then 21 all the way up to 64, and 64 to 21 to 57 to 64 on into.
and then Cesar. We turned left and we hunted Scott's.
No, and then we're going
And
to
then-
turn in at the we're going to turn in at
You
the,
don't have
at
to
the
know.
Loves, and we're going to empty the shitter out of this camper somewhere.
You don't have to know.
We might.
I'm 2/3 full.
Yeah, me too. Paper and
Well, I tell you what, I dropped a deuce in there this morning,
In there,
and
In
when
here.
I came back from hunting,
you dropped another one.
I had an issue.
What
That's
kind
why I quit waiting down there at 8:30 this morning.
oh man, that gave me crazy.
No, I shot the deer, Well, nicked the deer at 6:30, but I came to get Jimmy at 8:30 because I was feeling the jalapeno start to burn.
I ain't felt no jalapeno yet.
Oh,
I must be a day behind.
by the time we got back up here, I was like, got to go, and I used your crapper again.
Yeah.
It's kind of tight.